Roll
Roll Cougs.
You guys want to do one with?
You good, Jeremy? All right, 3, 2, 1.
Here, there's a steal. Daydor Phillip to the rim, slams it home. From the slot, and Rickles ends it in overtime.
Is back, the head up the bump, and he is spinning, and he's stopped at the goal line. Centennial wins it.
Here we go. It's time to wrap yet another sport here, our Sports Den Fall Wrap 2020. And now it's time for Volleyball Edition. And
Yay!
Yeah, time for us to kill it and put this one away. We're going to talk nice. Yeah. We do have some athlete interviews, as obviously we don't have the opportunity to have big fall finale and studio show, or reaching out to some of the athletes to hear from them about their perspective on the season, and talking about the teams. We'll open up talking alphabetical order. JW, we know that starts with the Blaine Bengals, and this year a new look, not just wearing masks, but a new head coach, as Celeste Gorman opted to step down so she could do color commentary for us. That was a big bonus for North Metro TV.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the big driving factor in getting her off the sideline, was that she could work with us. But that was definitely fun. That was a highlight for me. I don't know. I think it only turned into 2 games that we got to do together, but that was certainly fun. But yeah, a new era for Blaine volleyball, and I think as many teams did, just the consistency maybe wasn't there where they would want it to be, but you also didn't have the consistency of practice, the consistency of a preseason. It was really a year, and that was one of the most fun things to talk about. Fun is relative, but with Coach Gorman, just as a coach, how could you even imagine being given this season as something you have to play through as a regular coach, much less a coach in your first year? So I thought the Bengals, with everything that was stacked up against them, did a good job of going out there, and they were very competitive against a lot of the good teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference, and came away with their fair share of wins against teams I guess you could put in the category of teams they were supposed to be. So overall, I thought as first years go, it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's tough to expect or to know what to expect when you have a new coach in a year where you don't have that summer season and workouts, and just kind of the season just kind of thrown in there. An even bigger challenge for a team and a new coach stepping into a program. So hats off to Coach Thomas and the Bengals for what they were able to do this year, and it was fun watching them and calling highlights, by the hammer of Thorma's guard. So enjoyable season for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was the other thing that Coach Gorman talked about. Obviously, there were some players in there that have been with that program and that were seniors that could, that they'll miss. But there's the basis and a foundation for that team to be very good coming back. And I think that was maybe one of the most heartening things for Bengals fans, was to see those flashes where there were times you can say, okay, these are definitely some pieces that we can build around for a couple years to come here.
Exactly. And is it weird that when you say Bengals, I hear a cat meow? Maybe that's just me.
I did that on purpose. Yes. Is it more weird that I can't see the cat that meowed and I'm a little worried about it? But we'll just let that go.
No, you're good, you. And then next alphabetically is C for Centennial Cougars. So their coach has been around for quite some time. And they also have plenty of senior leadership. You talk about, Jadyn Clarner and Sydney Petersen. Sydney Petersen getting 1,000 kills last year towards the end of her junior year in the playoffs, and then coming into this year. So they returned a lot of talent. And again, it's one of those things where kind of how's the dynamic work when the season's just kind of like on hold and then just thrown right into there. But I thought some of the teams had kind of a bit of a slow start, which is to be expected. Centennial did show a lot of flashes, especially later on when we got to see them a little bit more throughout the course of the season. Lots of players stepping up and putting away big kills. And so a fun year for them as well. As obviously there's a couple teams at the top of the conference that were tough to beat, but there was a whole 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that were just like so close together, and with them getting to play each other, great competition throughout the year.
Yeah, as you look at those, for the Cougars, what comes to mind with some of those seniors you were talking about and help lend to where they stand here is you kind of eventually get to a point, even in a season like this, where a player like Sydney Petersen, you realize, wow, we've watched her play for a long time now and gotten to see just how good she is, and kind of sit back and say, wow, that's a player that they'll remember, and that she has made an impact on that program. So it's certainly fun to see them kind of have a culminating season for players like her and Clarner and Crowl as well for Coach Rehbein-Manthey.
And we got to talk to all of those Lady Cougars, and here's our conversation.
All right, so my name's Sydney Petersen. I am a senior, and I am an outside hitter.
My name is Ashley Crowl. I'm a senior, and I'm a middle and outside hitter.
I'm Kailee Sendle. I'm a senior, and I'm a right side.
I'm Jadyn Clarner. I'm a senior, and I'm a setter.
All right, off to a great start. All right, it's question time. All right, we are joined by several players from Centennial Volleyball. We have Sydney Petersen, Ashley Crowl, Kailee Sendle, and Jadyn Clarner. How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Good.
Good. Did I get everybody's name right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sydney, tell us about your season this year for both you and your team.
Well, our season to start off with was very unexpected. We were all planning on doing, a spring season, and then, I think it was 2 weeks before, they basically got thrown at us. All right, we're gonna go in the fall. So I think a lot of us, it was a lot of mixed feelings, but we were just happy to have that opportunity to be on the court one last time. I feel that the beginning of the season was a little bit of a rough start, but for the most part, as the season went on, we progressively got a lot better, and we played as a team, just that one last season together.
Awesome. And you did get one last season together. Tell us, from your perspective, what do you think would be like the highlight of the year, whether it was a game or practice or just like a moment with your team?
Well, highlight of the year, I think, being able to have that senior night, we weren't guaranteed that game. I think that was going to be our last game, was a big good thing to have. Also, that last Stillwater game, we weren't expecting to have that. And just knowing that we were able to get, those couple extra games, that was really nice to know. But I'm just glad we were able to have the amount of games that we were supposed to have, even though we were supposed to have, I think a good chunk more. But I'm just happy that we were able to come together and have that team and play as well as we did.
Great. Do you have a favorite memory of your time with Centennial Volleyball?
Probably the Stewartville game at the Apple Valley tournament. We all kind of went into it like, all right, let's just try. We all really wanted to beat them, and we played probably one of the best Centennial volleyball games I've ever seen. It was just a very fun game. There was no stress, everyone was just happy to be in there. Even the girls who were on the bench, they were all hyped up. They weren't, people weren't like, oh, I want to be on the court. They were just like happy to be like a part of the team.
Ashley, tell us about the season for you and your team.
Like Sydney said, it started off a little bit rough, but it was really awesome to see us all coming together, especially, a lot of us have been playing together a really long time, and you could really tell on the court we were clicking. I can't remember who we were playing, but it was about our 5th game in, and I'd really say that was the turning point of our season. We went out there, we played really great. We played as a team, and we really came down on our opponents, and I really think that was the turning point in bringing us the rest of our success this season.
Any favorite memory that you have with your team during your time with Centennial Volleyball?
I would say my favorite memory was probably winning the Vanille St. Margaret tournament last year. We had worked really hard throughout the tournament, and then in the final game, we were falling behind, we were falling apart, and then we came back in that next set, and we did what we do best, and we won the tournament.
Kailee, tell us about your season and the team season.
Okay, so this year was just kind of all over the place in terms of what to expect. We were all just really hoping to get on the court for like a last senior season, and our team was pretty old with majority of the players being seniors, so I think it was really important for us to get out there one last time and just be able to play because we were really close and all been playing together for quite a few years now. So other than the slow start, I think we really got going and we really felt connected, and I think we ended pretty strong. I think the highlight of the year for our season was probably, I don't know about like the games in general. I think this year was really important for like our connection. One of my favorite parts was like we had a team dinner that we all finally were able to come and like hang out and sit together. That was at Ashley's house because we were able to stay like our 6 feet in social distance, and I think it was really important for us to get together, and then I think it translated onto our on-court play.
All right. Any favorite memories of your time with Centennial Volleyball with you and your teammates?
My favorite memory was our last away game because we got to have one last bus ride, and we all knew it was going to be our last bus ride, so it was really special. So everyone was just going really hard and singing and having a great time and making sure we made the best of it.
Does the bus driver have a similarly pleasant memory of that trip?
Oh yeah, we had awesome bus drivers this season. He had a really great time. He did this little like intro thing where he would announce his name and like tell us how long it was going to take to get to the gym and everything. He really liked us.
Great. That helps. Nobody likes the old cantankerous bus driver that has to put up with the singing and kids having a good time. All right, moving over to Jadyn. Jadyn, tell us about your season, the team season.
I think having so many seniors on our team this year, it was just very important for us to be able to play, and I think we were all very thankful for the fact that we got some sort of a season. I think we started not where we wanted to, but by the end of the season, we were playing how we were playing last year, and that showed in our record and in our success.
Great. Tell me about a highlight of the season for you guys.
I think a highlight of the season would have been just having practices and being back on the court with the people I've been playing for 4 to 5 years. So that was really exciting for all of us, I think, even though it may have looked different.
And you guys have played together for several years. Thinking back, do you have a favorite memory with these girls?
My favorite memory is probably just all the bus rides over the years, because progressively, as we've gotten to know each other, they get more fun and more exciting each time.
Sydney, you got the opportunity to play with your sister this year. Has that happened before, and what was that experience like?
I don't think it's happened before. I'm pretty sure I've played with her on a sand tournament, but I don't really count that. It was a summer rec thing. But I would say at first it was kind of weird because we've never played with her. I've watched her over the years progressively get better and go through all the positions and just try things out. But the way she stepped up on the court when we lost Mackenzie McDonald, who was our starter libero. She fought for her spot, and we had a lot of liberos, and she was able to pull through and do what we needed her to do when we in those tight games when we needed a pass. She was able to go out there and get that pass.
So was there anybody harder on Maddie than you?
Probably not. She would come home and she'd be like, why can't I get a pass? And I was like, I don't know.
Be better. That's what your advice was.
Yeah.
So last year as a junior, you went over the 1,000 career kill mark. So this year, obviously not as much of a season, and that along with other things are playing factors in, looking ahead to college. So knowing that you're looking for colleges and not just, where you can play, but where you can even fit in. Tell me about the process that has been the last few months, especially.
Oh boy, it's been a long process. I've been talking to schools before all this COVID stuff happened, and then a lot of them, they're keeping their seniors and they're not recruiting our class. They're letting them play an extra semester so that they don't have that space. So, right now the plan is continue to talk to schools, and then just see if I, enjoy it. And I have volleyball's not going to be there for me all my life. I have to figure out, where am I going to get the best education, and am I going to enjoy playing with those girls. So right now it's just looking at the school's majors and, bonding with the team and see if I would fit in there.
All right. Probably, I'm guessing volleyball is the only sport that you play. It's kind of the...
Yeah, I'd only go. Yeah. I played softball in the past, but I don't want to put that there. So.
Okay. Any advice for the younger players that you have for them?
Start talking to colleges now. It gets very hectic, and you never know what's going to happen in the future. Get a list of schools you're interested, even if you don't really know about them. Email them, give them their information. Just start having conversations, make those connections, have those phone calls towards the campuses. Just get that done. It gets really hectic, especially right now. Our class is struggling with this, and maybe even 2022 will as well. I don't really know, but if you can, start contacting and getting all that stuff done.
Ashley, tell me what surprised you most this season?
I'm surprised that it lasted as long as it did, to be honest. Like we talked about before, it was really back and forth on when is it going to happen, and is football going to get to play and volleyball not. And I think we were all surprised and grateful that we got to go as long as we did. So that was pleasant for us.
And you probably in a similar boat, but are you planning on playing in college, or what are your college plans as far as looking ahead?
Last month I signed to play at Bemidji State University, so I plan to attend there and join their team next year.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so you're going to be graduating, but there's younger players on this team and in the program. What advice would you give to some of those younger players coming up?
I know all the seniors say this, but you really do need to enjoy your time. Sometimes a bad practice, it's I just wish this could be over and stuff, but looking back, even the bad ones, I would go over and wish I could be there again just for a couple more hours in the gym with our awesome team.
Kailee, tell me about something that surprised you this season.
I was surprised that we ended up starting in fall, because we were pretty dead set on a spring start, so I think we were all ready to get started with the fall club teams, and then for it to just kind of get thrown in there. But it also helped prepare, I think, a lot of the girls, because they'd been already in the gym for a month, and we got to have a few spring practices, or fall practices, to get prepared for our fall season, even when we didn't know we were going to have it yet.
All right, and looking ahead to college, have you made any decisions there?
I'm not going to play volleyball in college. I decided that a few months ago, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going yet. I just know I'm going out of state.
All right. And any advice you would give to the younger players?
My advice to the younger players would be to really enjoy your time with your teammates. I know you can get caught up in the competitiveness of volleyball and the wins and losses, but really the stuff that lasts most is the moments with your teammates, like the bus rides and the pasta feeds and just the connection you're going to make with your teammates.
Jadyn, tell me about something that surprised you this season.
I think something that surprised me was I remember being in the gym for like our fall practices, and then like one day we were like, oh, we're going next week, where can we start? So I think it was a very quick turnover from like adjusting to just fall practices to like being actually in season.
Is there anything that you can learn or take away from kind of like being on your toes and being able to adjust to major changes so quickly?
I think it just kind of taught me that you can never be like set on what's going to happen, and you like don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you have to be ready for everything.
Great. College plans that you're looking at?
Last month I committed to play volleyball at University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, so next fall I'm going to be attending there.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Any advice you would have for the younger players?
My advice would be to cherish every moment in the gym, and the hard work does pay off, even though if you don't see improvements right away, getting in the weight room and getting in the gym, eventually you'll see improvement and it will pay off in the long run.
Great. Anything any of you guys have to add?
I just want to thank Centennial Volleyball for giving us the opportunity that, you know, even just this season, like just looking back, I want to thank Centennial for giving us that opportunity to have our senior season, even though it was cut short. You know, none of us were really expecting on having it, but looking at it back at it now, I'm grateful we were able to have it and have those last moments.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. You guys did a great job, and best of luck in the rest of your school this year and looking ahead to college and everything ahead of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Roll
food.
All right, thanks to those ladies for talking with us. So yeah, some great careers coming to the end, and what I hadn't realized that I learned was a lot of uncertainty for seniors. Volleyball, looking for a school when there's fewer, schools looking for recruits right now, with some extended eligibility of players, just kind of casting a little bit of either confusion or, more accurately, just like not as many spots. So more of a challenge for those seniors looking for, where they might want to play in school.
Yeah, certainly when you look at those seniors who have lost years at the college level, some potentially losing some of that time, you think, okay, well, that makes sense, let them go. But yeah, there's trickle-down effect, and it's going to be interesting to see these athletes who have been, playing for that potentially for their entire high school career. Now that's kind of stalled, or at the very least becomes more difficult than they potentially thought it would be already, a difficult process. So best of luck to them as they pursue that, and hopefully there's the right landing spots out there for them wherever it might be.
Absolutely. Our next team, the Spring Lake Park Panthers. So they, like our other teams, right in that kind of the thick of the competition in the Northwest Suburban Conference, and being able to watch a lot of their players that are now seniors that have been playing, all of these sports. And they're a school that their volleyball players, some of them play volleyball all year long, but a lot of them play multiple sports during this season. A good showing by them. Some of the games that we've been to, we definitely saw some good volleyball from the Panthers.
Yeah, this was a Panther team that, there were some illness/injuries that hampered them from having some of their key players. But even in the midst of what was an extended losing streak there in the middle part of what became their season, they were battling teams, and so many of those games were going into a fourth and fifth set. This was a team that, they couldn't maybe string it together every night and find a way to a win, but they were battling every team. And like you said, a tough Northwest Suburban Conference. And every time we had them on, it felt like, wow, they're that close. If they didn't win, they were that close to getting a win, a play here and a play there. And that's a credit to them, certainly as athletes, a credit to the coaching staff, and I think that program with the players that started to come back. What have we seen from other Spring Lake Park schools? You go back to both the basketball teams that hopefully we'll get to see now here in the winter, but they built and built and built and now finally had some success in the recent days, and I think that could be coming for this volleyball team too.
Yeah. How many games do you get to 23 points, and not quite
Right.
finish it off? Obviously, there's something to be said about being able to finish those, and that comes with experience and it becoming a habit of putting those things away. They don't put an asterisk next to it when you barely lose a set. If it's 3-0 or 3-1, that's the final score. But yeah, just being close and being competitive, and then just finding that year where it just clicks and you're finishing match after match after match, and you turn the tide in that direction.
The fun thing with that program too is, and I heard this from Coach Gorman, and I've heard this from Coach Rehbein-Manthey too, the respect that they have for Joy Johnson there, the other coaches that we cover just in the area is huge. They love what she's done with that program, and I think then all of our coaches kind of share that mutual respect, coach and former coaches and Coach Gorman, but they share that respect, and so that tells me a lot about where that program is and where that program can go.
Absolutely, and you got to talk to some of the members of that program.
That's right. Joined to talk some Spring Lake Park volleyball with some Panthers athletes here, and happy that you guys could join us to kind of wrap up your season at this point and kind of look back on the season that was, as we've done in some of these previous ones. Wanted to just throw out the 3 questions to you guys and then kind of let you have at it. And for the audience, that we're going to go through what the best part of the season was, kind of a highlight look there. The biggest improvement that each of these ladies thought they kind of made as a team together, and then looking ahead at what the future is going to be for Spring Lake Park volleyball. So we'll start up with the senior of the bunch, Olivia Albers here. Olivia, go ahead and take it away.
Hi. I believe that one of the biggest highlights from our season is kicking it off with a really strong start against Coon Rapids with not a clean sweep, but still winning our first game going into our season, because we were so kind of timid about our team and not knowing how well we were going to click on the court. But I think that's a really good highlight to show how strong we started off, not knowing how we would play with each other. One improvement that I think we made a lot is just kind of going off of our first win, knowing how to play with each other, knowing what our boundaries are, and kind of what we can and cannot do for our teammates as to where they need help with mental state on the court and skill-wise. And then what I feel that we see for next year for our season is a lot of returning varsity starters, so I think we'll come back with a really strong team going into next season, facing some of our competitors we lost to this season.
I think one of my favorite highlights or just memories from the team is we made a cardboard cutout of a celebrity, or Maya did, and I think it was just a really fun idea. Like, he was our lucky charm. We'd have him at every practice, and then we'd bring him to every game, and he'd sit front row on the bench with us, and I just thought that was just a really fun just kind of thing our team could bond with. And then as for improvements we made, I think near the end of the season we definitely got better at just playing as a team and just playing for ourselves and just wanting to go out and have fun. And I think that definitely showed in our play. We definitely improved near the end of the season. I think we just kind of realized we had to live in the moment due to all the COVID restrictions. And I think we just went out and played our heart out. And I think that was really fun. And then as for something that I want to see next year is, I think we should just take advantage. Hopefully next year we'll have more days of practice and preseason and stuff. And I just hope we can really just take advantage of that and just work hard and continue to improve throughout the year.
Yeah, so my favorite memory was definitely the second time around playing Coon Rapids. I think the first time we played really confidently, and we were really looking forward to getting better throughout the season and playing them again. And the second time playing them, we unfortunately lost a couple of our teammates due to COVID restrictions, and that took out a couple of them. And I think we really just played for our teammates, and that was really fun. something that we definitely got better with over the season was trust. So with COVID, we couldn't do as much team bonding. And so I think we didn't know each other as well as we would have gotten to if we had a preseason that 2 weeks where we're in the gym with each other constantly. So I think we definitely got to build more trust in each other. And for the next 2 years next year of SLP volleyball, I think we definitely, like Liv said, we have more starters and more opportunities to know each other and play with the people that we've known. So I think we'll definitely know a lot more next year.
All right, Maya, you wrap us up, okay?
Okay. I think my favorite memory was senior night. I think that's when we played Elk River. And I think that's when we kind of just came out of our shell and we had just played the best we had ever played. We did end up losing, but we took it to 5 against a team that we couldn't really compete with the year before. And I think it just showed our improvement, and it was a really fun game. And then to end with honoring the seniors and going through the senior speeches was a really good memory for all of us. And I think our biggest improvement this season was just our overall confidence. I think because we had a mix of new people and returners. I think once we kind of all came together and worked hard with each other to realize that we all had a role on the team, that we just became more confident and played well and played better together. And I think next year we're, like everyone said, we have a lot of returners and we have a lot of people who are able to play multiple positions for our team this year. So I think we'll have a lot of options as far as lineups and rotations go, which will be good.
Well, I told you guys, I warned you guys I might do this, just a quick lightning question to close it out here. And again, we appreciate you joining us. Obviously, there's a lot going on. With this being the season that it was, obviously, as you guys have mentioned, there's a lot of different challenges you had to go through. Anybody that you guys want to give a shout out to that kind of this season, as it rolled through, you guys were able to really rely on, maybe even more so, or beyond that, just folks that have supported you throughout, or anybody you want to recognize? We can start kind of go the same order. Olivia, you can start us off with that if you want. Just any shout outs you got.
Oh gosh, okay. Well, my season wasn't really the best because I had to quarantine for basically the rest of my volleyball season, which was 3-ish weeks, 2.5 weeks. And so I didn't get to finish out with parent night or any of my other games, but I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my teammates and my parents for just kind of showing me a bunch of support off the court and just knowing that they would have wished to end their season with me on the court too with them, and letting my parents watching me play out my last game. So I just like the extra support.
Kind of going along with that, just our whole team, especially with when we did have 4 people missing, just the amount of rotations we went through and lineups, I think everyone was just super amazing about being flexible and just playing anything. Lily, for example, went from a main hitter to libero, and that was just a big switch up, and I think everyone just took advantage of it, and I think that was really impressive.
I guess shout out to the rest of our teammates, because they were really supportive this season, and I think it meant a lot to everyone, especially this year, just with everything going on with COVID and how it affected everyone's personal lives. We were all able to come together and support each other and have fun. And then a shout out to all of the parents and extra fans who were able to come and support us even with COVID restrictions. It really meant a lot to us.
Yeah, I think definitely a huge shout out to the parents and the other players and Coach Joy too. She also worked really hard to get our last Roseville game in before we got shut down. So yeah, I think they all made it super able and nice for us to play even with COVID.
Well, we were appreciative to get to watch you guys, and I know you guys took advantage of all the opportunities you had, and we're rooting for you to get some more consistency to some of those things as we move forward, certainly to next year. And thanks for joining us on this. Congrats on getting the season in and all you guys have done so far throughout your careers, and Olivia throughout your career with Spring Lake Park. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely appreciated having those ladies on with us, and yeah, a lot of excitement. And what I took away from that, Ken, is there was a lot of fun that they were still able to have. I think that was certainly clear. There was a lot of things that they had to do that were unique to this year, to say the least. But I think they still found ways not only to go out and compete, but also have fun, and that's certainly good to see at the high school level.
Absolutely. I can't complain when you get to go out there and have some fun with your friends.
That's what we do on here.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. And unfortunately, our fun time has come to an end, as everything does eventually. Ain't that the truth? So now it's time to wrap our wrap show. Any final words for our volleyball viewers?
No, let's just hope they get that club season back underway next year. Be ready to hit the ground running and be back in the gym for more bump, set, spike.
Oh yeah, 2021. We're gonna bring it hard. All right. So thank you to all of our athlete guests, coaches, activities directors, parents, fans, and the casual YouTube viewer. We appreciate it. Make sure you support your teams, and go Bengals.
Go Cougars.
Go Panthers. All right. Thanks, everybody. Wrap it up.
I grabbed the cat, but I thought better of it. I found the cat. All right, which sport are we doing first?
Volleyball?